Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan with Fight Kitchen Fires Limited, and I'm here today with Fire Inspector, Fire Investigator Charles Christian. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, I really appreciate you taking your time to talk to us, kind of share your knowledge and your experience. I guess if you don't mind, let's get right to it.
That works.
All right. So, let's start with tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So a little bit about my background. Right after high school, I joined the Air Force. Went into fire protection. I did 15 years active duty military, all fire. Uh, Once I got out of there, went back to school, finished my associate's degree in fire science. Now working on the bachelor's. But I joined the reserves. Been in the reserves now for 5 years. While after doing that, I took a job as a GS firefighter on a military base. Did that for about a year until I moved back to Texas, and now I've been a fire inspector slash fire investigator for about 4 years now. So overall, collectively, it's been a little over 20 years that I've been in fire service. Love it. Like I said, I've worked my way from actually riding a truck, responding to emergencies, to now doing. I now show up to do prevention, do inspections to make sure that we don't have any fires happening, and then I also do the investigations, show up after the fact. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I am right now. So
And what kind of investigations? I mean, obviously fire related, but
I get called out for everything, big or small. So if it's a dumpster fire behind Walmart, or if it's a full-on house fire, I've gotten called out to small grass fires, vehicle fires, and then yes, I get called out for arsons also. So right now I'm also going through my peace officer training. So once that's all said and done, I can better work those arson cases, because right now when I catch an arson, I have to pass it over to PD because they can arrest. But when I'm done with this peace officer training, then all of those they'll be all mine. So
okay. That's in the question docket here. So I guess I want to fast forward to that real quick. So what is the difference between an arson investigator, a fire inspector, and even a fire marshal?
so here we have, my title is a fire inspector slash fire investigator. We have one fire marshal. That's my boss. I work directly under him. But even though the public, anytime I walk into a building, they're like, "Hey, the fire marshal's here." They call us all fire marshals. Uh, Fire inspector, like I said, we do fire prevention. We go out, do building inspections, make sure that sprinkler systems are good to go, the extinguishers are good to go, exits are not blocked. Do all the fire prevention stuff. That's the fire inspection side of my job. Fire investigator, pretty much do all the fire investigations, no matter what it is.
Mm.
Now, as far as title of arson investigator, I just don't have arresting power. Let's put it that way. I have to go through the whole police academy before I'm able to arrest. So that is the only thing that's keeping me from going from basically fire investigator to arson investigator. So right now, I just carry the badge, but this summer, this June, when I'm done with the class, then it'll be badge, sidearm, cuffs, and that part will change. So
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of people that don't really understand the difference there. I think you laid it out pretty well.
yeah.
So, so far, what's been the most memorable part of your career?
Ooh, most memorable part of my career. I will say definitely I like to travel. So the military part of it, the traveling, being able to see other places, go overseas, Germany, Korea, Africa, Dubai, uh, all these different places that I got a chance to visit. Definitely gonna remember all of that. Now going to all these different fire departments, it's funny because it's like all the fire departments, they all do things basically the same way, but each one has their own little unique way of doing things. And it's like you kind of pick that up, after going to every single fire department. Like, I mean, hey, every department may fight wildland fires, one certain way, but each one kind of has their little tricks,
Yeah.
to the trade that you just kind of pick up along the way. And I like that. I'll say, I say that because when I was in New Jersey, they had these trucks with like huge grill on the front of them, and their whole thing was like, if there's a tree on fire, run it over. Like, you got it. I will.
All right. And put
Yep.
out a tree fire by running it over. Okay.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like it's very you have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, and of course with the different departments. And I think that might have something to do with your most recent award. So I looked you up and I found that you were recently recognized as a 20 under 40 award recipient. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, tell us more.
All right. So first off, the 20 under 40, because a lot of times, like if I bring that up or say that to somebody, it's like, oh yeah, it was Chamber of Commerce 20 under 40. People are like, oh, what is that? It's like, and the thing is, I really didn't even know what it was, I guess, until really I was put in for it. But every year they pick 20 people, leaders in the community who are doing influential things in the community and just being pillars of the community, who are all under the age of 40. And, face was on a billboard and all over the news and, just all over the place. And then they have this big ceremony where they, hand you your award and your plaque, and everybody's there. The mayor, the city manager, all these, influential people in the city are there to shake your hand and tell you congratulations, because they've all probably been on that list too at some point. So it's like, welcome to the club,
Yeah.
type of thing. And it was good, because then you get a chance to network and meet a lot of other people who are in good positions around the city. And for me, I feel like it was a good way to kind of, they can at least put a face to the name and know who I am now. So, 'cause, I mean, like I said, I've been here for almost 4 years. So now, uh, I walk into City Hall and it's like the city manager, knows who I am now. It's like, hey, how's it going? Or I have the president over at the Chamber of Commerce. I actually saw him yesterday, bumped into him on base, and just like, hey, how's it going? It's like all these people that I didn't know
Yeah.
before, now I do. And it's like, hey, congratulations, good job on what you're doing in the community, and keep it up, because I stay pretty busy out here. I'll say that.
Yeah. So can you give us an example of what exactly you've done? Like, I guess how many trees on fire have you ran over for that recognition?
Well, I think they look at the fact that I'm always involved in something. So I'm a part of the safety committee for the Boys and Girls Club. I volunteer for just about everything. We had a Feed the Funnel event, where we made bags of food for people less fortunate. We made boxes and everything. We made a ton of bags. I don't even know how many. It was a lot. I volunteer with United Way. So we do this thing, United We Read, where we go to the school and we read to the kids and do like a little project and everything with them, which that's coming up again. So I'll end up doing that. I got with Meals for the Elderly, so we could identify, I guess, in our elderly community, how many people don't have smoke detectors in their homes. Because it's like, all right, uh, if they have mobility issues, then of course we're going to want their smoke detectors to work, so they have that early alert, so they can hopefully get out of their homes. So on a Saturday, I grabbed a couple of guys and a box full of smoke detectors and a couple of drills and ladders, and we went and installed smoke detectors around town and in people's homes. I mean, aside from that, I'm always out in the community doing something, helping somebody out with whatever. I'm very rarely home. Let's put it that way. So between doing fire inspections, doing fire investigations, I'm also a drone pilot. Uh, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to school right now. I'm going through my peace officer training. I'm still in the Air Force Reserves, and I just, I'm always doing something in the community. And I think overall, all of those things would probably lead to me getting that 20 under 40. So
Yeah. Wow. It definitely sounds well deserved. You are Wow, involved in a lot. That's good. Thank you for that. I'm sure your community, obviously, your community also appreciates it.
Oh yes, I mean I do it because I like helping people. I mean, the recognition is nice, but it's not, you know, even
You're
without
not
it, like
doing,
I said, I'm still going to be out there helping
yeah,
where I can.
yeah. You're not doing it for the recognition. All right. Well, with your current role as an investigator or fire inspector, what have you seen that are some common pitfalls in, let's say, some of the commercial dwellings, or even, I'm sorry, in some of the commercial buildings, or even restaurants? Is there anything that
Uh,
jumps at you?
Cleaning, uh, cleanliness, and it's not just their hood and ducts. It's really the whole thing. So I'll go into a lot of these places, and let's say we have to pull their grill away from the wall or something. It's like underneath is like completely nasty, grease everywhere. A lot of times you don't even have to look under the grill. Like just walking back through the kitchen, a lot of times it's like it's a slipping hazard. Like I see it all the time. Those are like the main things. I run into a lot of other issues going into some commercial kitchen areas, like either you know people don't people in those areas don't know how to use the pull station, I guess, for the ansel
Mhm.
system. They don't know how to use the fire extinguisher, or the fire extinguisher is blocked, or whatever the case may be, or their own exits back there are blocked. But usually it's housekeeping.
Mhm.
Cleanliness seems to be like the main thing. And I mean, there's a lot of places, like I understand they're busy, people get moving around back there. Storage is usually like an issue. Storage is usually like an issue everywhere. um, but like I said, when it comes to like restaurants, kitchen areas, like I said, usually it's the cleanliness is what I typically run into and see.
Okay. Now, is the cleanliness something that is a worry for you or a concern for you because it's just unkept and it's a slipping hazard, or is it also a fire hazard?
So we've had plenty of fires also that have happened just from grease buildup. Like I said, it's not just, and it's been. I've had it to where, like, yes, grill caught on fire, or just the grease that's on the side of the grill, along the walls, everything like so. Because I mean, all it takes is for one person to not be paying attention, and then next thing you know, you have a fire. I guess. And then a lot of times, like I said, with people not being knowledgeable on what to do in that situation, that small fire turns into a big fire really quickly. If
Mm.
they don't know what to do, if they don't know, like, hey, I need to grab an extinguisher, or I need to grab the right extinguisher at that. So I've had that conversation with a couple people before with kitchens. They're like, well, why do I need this Class K extinguisher over here where I have an ABC extinguisher like not far from here? It's like, all right, so um, it's basically whenever I do my inspections, I like to try to educate. I guess while I'm walking through and doing these inspections, I never like to just do an inspection and say, "Hey, you're doing things wrong," and then write you up and then leave, and never come up with any solutions for them. So we always try to find a solution for them. Always try to, because my goal is not to go out there and start shutting businesses down. Like that's not my end goal here. If anything, I try to make it safer. Want them to still be able to be aware of the hazards and everything that they work around on a daily basis, and make sure that if something were to happen, they know where their exits are. They know how to use their fire extinguishers. Like all their exit signs and emergency lights work like they're supposed to. Um, like I said, the part of us having fires in the kitchen areas, like I said, it you most of the time it comes down to that human factor, people not paying attention, or whatever the case may be. Person may go through their regular routine day in and day out, and may not think about, hey, I'm so used to throwing an oven mitt on the oven, or this towel on the oven. I do it all the time, until that one day that you do it, and next thing you know. So really, it's always that human factor. I mean, we can't change that. But if anything, like I said, if we can educate and try to help them realize by, hey, throwing that other bit on on the oven is probably not the best practice. So let's not do that. Like I say, and then like I said, I